In both camps, they grew up in Christian, or at least nominally Christian households, but as adults they decided to convert to Islam. So what prompted the switch? Susan Carland is a lecturer at Monash University in Melbourne, David Stanley is an electrician from Sydney, and Stacey Mohammed is a 25-year-old mum from Brisbane. Good morning to you all, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Susan, if I can start with you, what prompted your decision to convert to Islam?
I think I was a teenager when I became Muslim, and I think it was when I was a teenager I started just to have big questions about life, the universe and everything, and I started to explore lots of different answers to those questions, and much to my surprise Islam seemed to be the one that continually came back to me with the answers that made the most sense to me. So eventually, yeah, when I was 19 I decided to convert.
You say you were nominally Christian beforehand. Was your faith always a strong part of your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I knew that I always believed in God, and I was raised in a household where we did go to church and those sort of things, and so it was always a very big part of my life and always a very positive part of my life. But I think when I was in my teens, I just started to wonder if I believed what I did because I thought it was true, or if it's just what I'd been raised to believe, and that's what sort of prompted the outward exploration, I guess.
Mm. Okay, this is really interesting. David, describe your life before you converted to Islam.
Typical young Aussie guy. Used to go out and, drink, smoke, have fun, just do crazy things. Also, I used to be quite a racist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I didn't like Muslims at all.
What did you know about Muslims before you became
what I thought I knew about Muslims? Okay, so firstly, what I thought of Islam is I actually thought Islam was a place, and Muslims came from this place, and they hated everyone, and whoever wasn't a Muslim, I thought they wanted to convert them, and that was it.
They're all from Islamabad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What was the thing that made you go, this thing that I don't know anything about,
well,
I now want to join up to?
I very quickly, within the first minute of a conversation, I very quickly realised that my perception of Muslims and Islam was completely wrong, and straight away I started questioning myself and who I was and who I thought I was, and they were two completely different people. And
so looking at you now, I mean, most people have a vision in their heads of what a Muslim man in Australia looks like, and it doesn't look like you. How has your life changed since you converted?
More on a personal level, physically, like looking after myself a bit better, not drinking, not smoking, which I really wanted to fix up quite some time prior to that, but I just needed that initial kick. And just being a better person, not judging people the way I used to, and denied that I did.
So, Stacey, you also had what many would describe as a typically Australian upbringing. Can you tell us about that, and also about how your family reacted, I suppose, when you told them you were planning on converting to Islam?
Yeah, my family, they're very supportive. I grew up in a very small country town in northern New South Wales. I had a great upbringing. I had a loving family. I'd say I was probably agnostic. So I didn't really tell them about my journey because it was really inner journey rather than, telling everyone about what I was thinking about doing. And I started about 2008, so when I told them in 2010, they already had sensed that there was some changes within, so they handled it really good. And I would say that we're probably closer now that I'm a Muslim than before.
Very interesting.
Stacey, when you hear about a terrorist attack that is carried out in the name of Allah, how does that resonate with you, and how far removed is that sort of behaviour from your actual religion?
I feel sad because I would feel sad if any innocent person died overseas or here. Doesn't matter what religion, any innocent person's death is quite sad. But I also feel sad because my religion is misrepresented, and I know in myself what Islam is, but you can't really show that on a 30-second news clip every night. So it's quite complex. And I feel like quite sad because I'm going to be representing Islam and people are going to look at me like I'm linked to terrorism. So
Yeah.
that's not how I want my life to be and how I want my son's life to be when he grows up. So
Yeah.
it's quite sad.
It's interesting, isn't it? You know, the media and in fact the public, I think, concentrate on the excesses of a particular group of Muslims,
Totally right,
regards to the treatment of women, for example, regards to you know, terrorist activity. But we don't look at the Irish, for example, who blew each other up for, you know, 100 years and say, oh, it's because they're Christians, they're all terrorists. You know, we don't look at.
It's the world's fastest growing religion, Islam. The Chicago area alone, home to an estimated 400,000 Muslim faithful. Tonight, why some people are making the switch to a religion many Americans have trouble understanding. Mark Saxenmeyer has our special report.
This is the story of 3 Chicagoans, all raised as Christians, all who decided to ultimately reject that religion.
Internet is down.
Nadira Rodriguez Muhammad grew up Catholic, but found herself constantly questioning the long-held beliefs of her family.
I always felt that something was missing for me.
Ian Bushner is a law student at the University of Chicago.
I felt like that there wasn't a God.
Whitney Nichols is a new Loyola grad who grew up in suburban Streamwood.
I guess what I was really looking for was what felt most natural and most logical.
Old Europe is looking less and less European these days, and that's giving rise to a clash of cultures. Correspondent Greg Burke reports from Brussels.
When you think about Brussels, Belgium, you tend to think about the heart of old Europe, a city that's been standing there for centuries, a place where visitors find lots of excellent beers and very fine chocolates. Think again. Think about one of the biggest and youngest Muslim populations in Europe.
Important to know that the capital of Europe, Brussels is the capital of Europe, will be Islamized within 10-20 years.
A former bullfighting arena in Barcelona. Bullfighting is now illegal in this part of Spain. So this arena has been turned into a business space. But Muslims would like to turn others into giant mosques. This is not Saudi Arabia, it's Spain. But Spain is undergoing a transformation. Muslims who once ruled most of Spain are returning in large numbers. In the city of Salt, parents have come to pick up their children from school. Muslims already make up 40% of the city's residents, and will soon be the majority. Muslim armies conquered most of Spain, calling it Al-Andalus. They would not be completely expelled for 700 years, the year Columbus discovered the New World. And now Muslims are returning, and polls suggest they're not returning in order to be Spaniards. A Pew survey found that 7 out of 10 Muslims in Spain think of themselves as Muslim rather than Spanish.
Sometimes the numbers tell the story. Case in point, the world's Muslim population is growing by leaps and bounds. Right now on Connect the World, we want to examine, though, the impact of a growing Muslim presence across the globe. We'll start with Richard Green, who crunches the numbers and tells us why it's happening.
20 years ago, there were just over 1 billion Muslims in the world. 20 years from now, there will be just over 2 billion. According to the Pew Forum on Religion and Public Life, the number of Muslims in the United States will more than double by 2030 to over 6 million. But even so, Muslim women around the world are simply having more children than non-Muslim women. And that's why the most popular name for baby boys born in England in 2009 was Mohammed. Richard Green, CNN, London.